Alright, so I bought an LED light for my plants because I wanted something that would give, some light every 3 or 4 hours a day. The only problem with that is that with this particular model, you have to come in and press this button every single day to turn it on. I've tried attaching it to one of these outlets that would do it for you, so you wouldn't have to come in and press the button every day, but when it turns off, it doesn't turn it back on. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this module here and then just kind of hardwire it back together so I can basically just bypass this chip. So I'm going to try and do that and get back to you. Alright, first step, I'm going to go ahead and get these guys, and I'm going to cut off this end, and I'm going to cut off these two ends right here. And so I'm just going to cut this guy out, is step number one. Alright, so I went ahead and cut the module out, and what I wasn't expecting was to see two wires in this particular piece, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and strip these guys down to the core, the copper core, and then I'm just going to tie them all together and use one of these guys. I've got a kit of connectors that I'm going to use, and hopefully things don't blow up on me. So I'm going to go ahead and strip these and get back to you. What I decided to do was, sorry, that's way out of focus, is I decided to tie these guys together, and I'm just going to basically just connect them all together using one of these guys, and then all you do is you just stick wires in here, and then you just clamp down on them, and it should connect the circuits. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll plug it in and see if it works. Alright, so what some of you electronic savants might have already noticed is that I wired those wrong. So what you're supposed to do is, this is the black wire is the ground wire, the yellow wire is the hot wire, I guess. And what you do is you connect the ground to the ground and the hot to the hot. So you don't just twist them all together and then put them together. You have to put the hot to the hot and, or whatever, yellow, yellow, black, black, and then it'll work. So don't just tie them all together, you have to separate them. Alright? Okay, so this particular model, the way it came is it came with a the wire. Let me back up for you guys. So the wire was a USB, and you ended up connecting this USB to one of these guys that you plug into the wall. The only thing is that I feel like this is giving a little bit too much power. This is 5 volts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take out this whole component, throw that away or put it aside for another time, and I'm actually going to end up using one of these guys instead. This is a little AC/DC converter, and this one is cool because it's got different voltages you can choose. So I'm actually going to put down the power a little bit, so instead of doing 5 volts, which is what this guy had, this has got a selector switch for 4.5 volts, and I'm going to use 4.5 volts to get the brightness I want out of this guy. And I went ahead and stripped the wires on this guy, so I'm basically just going to connect, again, I'm going to connect ground to ground and hot to hot, whatever you call it, and it should work. So I'm getting near the end, and I don't know if I'm going to, I think I've got some soldering stuff. I might solder them, or I might, again, go use those little electronic connectors that I have. So I don't know, we'll see what I go with. I've decided to go with the soldering method. I've never soldered anything in my life before, so this will be a first time. The only thing I've ever used my soldering gun for is for burning holes in plastic. So YouTube videos, got some tips from that. Going to be using some C-clamps to keep everything steady, and we'll see what happens. Alright, soldering's done. Here's the soldering job. First time ever doing one. The experience wasn't quite what I was thinking it was going to be like. They basically turned into like little BBs that I just had to melt on there. I don't know if it was my soldering gun or the solder, or, maybe that's just how it's supposed to work. But got it working, so plug this guy in. Bada boom. It's working now. Don't have to use this guy anymore. Now I can just leave it on and let the timer do its thing. 3 hours of light, 4 hours of light a day. Never have to touch it again. Alright. I figured I'd go ahead and show you the final product. So I got it going, got it set up. And it's plugged into the wall here. I got it set to go from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock is when it'll be on, doing its thing. If y'all have one of these and y'all are sick of pressing a button every day, maybe this video has helped you. And I hope y'all have a good day.